I want to share with you a new tool that I just made that helps you estimate some of the other technical or IT costs when it comes to running Dynamics 365. It certainly drills into the implementation costs because that's when you're going to need the most environments, there's going to be the most activity, and then you build up to what the environment will look like post go live as well. And so I'll take you through that tool, and it requires a lot of inputs because the current way of licensing Dynamics 365 environments is that you pay for storage. And if you buy your licenses up front, then you're going to get more storage entitlements, and that means that you're going to not have to pay any overage fees. A lot of times people get their environments for free during the implementation phase, and then post go live, several years after go live, really, they might creep up to a point where they might have to spend some money on those environments. And so what I've got here coming to you shortly is a video showing you how I calculate that in the new tool. Now the numbers are sort of fictitious, if you will. Like, don't let the numbers steer you away from Dynamics 365. It really isn't too costly of an ERP, to be honest, but it really helps demystify some of the costs that you'll have on projects because there are several different SKUs or several different factors at play, especially during the implementation period. And so this tool aims to help you navigate that. So here I am, and I know that my go live is month 11, not 10. So I'm going to go ahead and add my implementation time, 1 month preparation time, and 11. That also means operate from 12 to 24. I want to add up to 36. The 36 here is the number of months that it will show on the calculator and the charts. So if you want a shorter period of time, you can. If you want a longer period of time, you can go up to 60 months. And I sure hope that ERP rollout is not taking longer than that. From a standpoint of license purchases, you're going to want to put it in here. Now, this is set up so that you can ramp up licenses. However, sometimes that's not very beneficial from a standpoint of costing, and so you can play around with those things, see how that's affected here. What we're going to start with here is let's just go ahead and say that we're going to have 10 premium users and 100 full users, and maybe 500 operations activity. 100, no, let's do 100 of each of those. 200 device licenses, right? So now putting numbers in here, sometimes they don't add to your available storage entitlements. While we want to put in that information, it may not actually save you cost over. You can put in here what the total cost of all these licenses are, or you can have the system compute the license cost based on list prices and say whether or not customer insights is part of your implementation. Now on the left-hand side, depending on how much development you anticipate, whether that's interfaces, whether that's data work, whether that's extensions, you're going to want to look at sort of that design and build time. So you kind of needed to have all of the extensions and interfaces done before the testing event. So then that means you have 1 month, 2 months, 3 or 4 months to do all that development. So usually I'll take like the 1,000 hour budget, let's say, or maybe it's a 4,000 hour budget, and then divide that by the number of weeks I've got, and then I determine how many concurrent developers I need, because that's going to come over here and change the number of development environments that I need to support those developers. The functional consultants and solution architects, this is a smaller implementation. Let's move those down. That's going to be more around how many Azure DevOps licenses do we need. So what's happening as I enter in all of this, it is saving This is a static web page, meaning that you just open it up by Control O to open it inside of your web browser, and then you can fill it out, and then you can save the estimate as a JSON file, which is basically just the data, or you can export that Excel file. Now, we haven't actually gotten to the good stuff because we haven't seen the estimate. So, but before we get there, I do want to just budget some for pilot co-work, and maybe I want to budget, for the whole team, that million credits a month. That's probably a little bit generous, to be honest. And also, maybe I want to start that in month one. That's okay. Yeah. So how about we do something like 10,000 credits per month for until we go live, and then we could do something like this and decide to 10x that after go live, right? So just knowing that there's going to be more people. On the right-hand side, this is really the environment strategy that we're talking about. Do we need a system integration testing environment, or would you like to remove it from the plan, right? There's a lot going on here. We don't need a performance testing environment. Say, do we need a demo environment? Probably hotfix. I don't think we'll need, because we have one phase in our go live. It's a big bang. The training environment, I could take it or leave it. I don't know. If I leave it at a low data amount, that's okay. Now, the developers here are actually probably too low. I would imagine that it's going to be something more like this, so that we budget the right amount storage for these guys. Let's do that. I'll probably update the defaults here so that it's not the way it is right now. If you want to add another environment, you can do that here. You store the ones that you've taken away. And now we're getting to the good stuff, because now we can see the schedule, and we can see that go live is on the 11th month. We can see that during that time, we want to have sort of that training environment. We want to see that our demo environment we decided not to use later on. Now maybe I want to use it. So I can left click on any cell to add it or to toggle it back off. And or if I right click on something, it'll go back to whatever the default was. Now, as I look at some of these others, it looks like we're going to keep a sandbox and a production environment. I do want to keep one developer environment for that entire remainder, so I'm going to add that back. I probably don't need multiple developers for too long. I probably also don't need to have so many developers at the beginning, so maybe I would ramp up my developers. I also think that I won't need them maybe during the test event, or maybe we want to have a couple here. So depending on the hours, I can kind of shape the way that I want this to work out and figure out what exactly I want to do. Maybe I want to start data migration sooner and my gold environment sooner as well. So you can see some of the rules that are in effect. I'm not going to go through all of this because already this video is getting long, but you can immediately already see all of the monthly costs coming through. You can actually click on a month and get the information as to why it believes that you owe money during that period of time and what that is, right? Is it pay as you go? Is it licensing? Just so you're aware that all of the data that's behind this is available to you. And yeah, this looks a little bit technical. Obviously it is. AI can help you edit this. But as Microsoft publishes new pricing or new licensing guides, this is going to get updated, and you can maintain it yourself too if you'd like. If you want to have a separate environment plan, I'll probably make a video on this. You can set it up to have a different default, so that, like, for example, if we didn't want that sit environment, I could go like this, could validate and apply, and now I'm based on, like, any new estimate I make is not going to have the SIT environment to it. Now I can actually revert back to what the standard is, or I could just leave it like that. And if I wanted to somehow save a backup of this or send it to my buddy, I can export it, he can import it, and we can move on like that. So you can see There's some customization rules here. And then also, when do we typically start having a demo environment? When do we typically end the demo environment? That's all set up here. This all is based on success by design. So that's why you see the terms initiate, implement, prepare, and operate. What you put there is totally up to you, obviously. These other cost items here is where you get into your ISV costs. So if you do know you have an ISV or something that you need to host in Azure or Azure integration services and other systems like that, you can just continue to add new items here. There's 4 categories: pay-as-you-go Microsoft, licensing from Microsoft, ISV licensing cost, and then just custom. And that categorization then, well, here, let me show you. Let's just pretend like this is a really nice ISV that happens to cost $12,000 a month. And we're probably going to start them at month 3. So when I do that and I scroll down, you start to see the ISV cost is called out here, and it's called out down here. So when I'm done with that, I can just go ahead and click export, and now you have a file that you're able to open up and share with your buddies. I can also save that JSON and revisit that later. I hope this is really beneficial for you. It takes some time, and I will continue to enhance this probably. So look for some new videos.